Allow me to tell my story and say my last words. I was born into a great dynasty in 2050. My family history makes me proud. Humans called us coronaviruses because corona means crown in Latin, and we are covered in spikes. They must have thought these spikes looked like the points on a crown. Indeed, we are kings in nature, and our spikes are our weapons. In this century, all human beings have noticed my relatives bringing death, destruction, and grief to their species. They named one of my ancestors SARS. She caused the outbreak of the epidemic in 2003 and finally killed 774 people. Another became known as COVID-19. He initiated the pandemic that reached every corner of the earth, causing global chaos. If it hadn't been for the heroic efforts of my ancestors, I would have been regarded as just another virus. However, having understood my ancestors, humans shuddered with fear on discovering my existence. Since birth, I have resolved to become as influential as my famous family members and bring humanity to its knees. Originally, my mom and dad resided in a bat. Afterward, they moved to a ferret where I was born. My parents told me that I was different from them and that I had the capacity to jump into human bodies. There, my spikes could attach to, enter, and then control human cells in order to use them as factories for producing my offspring. My parents commanded that I should go forth and multiply. I did not disappoint them. One day, a golden opportunity arrived. A young man named Simon captured the ferret in which I dwelled and kept it as his pet. If Simon had remembered how his race survived COVID-19, he might have escaped his destiny. Fortunately for us, humans are careless and forgetful creatures, so seldom do they worry about personal hygiene. Simon touched his ferret and then dug into some potato chips without washing his hands. For this, he deserves my sincere thanks. Upon entering his body, I kidnapped his cells to produce more offspring. Poor Simon's immune defense forces attempted to fend off my military invasion, causing coughs and sneezes. Yet all was in vain, as I was a deadly enemy that his antibodies could not overcome. My powerful army would soon make them surrender. As expected, my troops were victorious. I then used Simon's coughs and sneezes to send my offspring, now great warriors, into the air, infecting anyone who breathed in the droplets. 2 of my children deserve special mention. One of them, Ilya, can affect humans and then make them show no symptoms for days. Unaware, the individuals who my son infects spread viruses onto the surfaces they touch. The other, Elvira, not only can do this, but also can force her victims to manufacture billions more of her offspring. Whomever she infects becomes a super spreader. After conquering Simon City, my army invaded countries around the globe. Before long, millions of humans fell ill and died. It seemed that my dream of causing the collapse of human civilization was close to coming true. Nevertheless, contrary to our expectations, people started to take preventive measures in order to combat us. Wearing masks, washing hands frequently, and social distancing began to halt the march of my armies. What's worse, some humans' immune cells produced antibodies to fight off my warriors. Eventually, mankind developed a vaccine, which signaled the end of my reign. I am dying, and so are my fellow viruses. It is such a pity that my empire is in decline. Yet I will not let my dynasty be destroyed so easily. Humanity, beware. My relatives still thrive within other animals, and a new warrior king will enter the human realm one day. If I were a human, I would be afraid, very afraid.